everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing extremely well. So this is the another lecture of our Java programming playlist, and today's lectures will be starting off with a very important concept in Java, that is constructors. What they are, why we use them, and how to create them. Everything I will show you a real-time example in Eclipse. So don't worry guys. Before we get started, I just want to say something to you guys. Really guys, really, I'm putting my heart into making these videos, and your support really keeps me going. If this video helps you even a little, please like, share, and subscribe. Every view, every subscriber, every comment keeps me motivated to create more helpful content. And hey, if you want me to make more videos, let me know in the comments. I am here for you. And if you want me to cover more topics or concepts, just drop a comment below. I will definitely try to make videos on them. So let's learn and grow together. Let's quickly move on to the topic, guys. That is constructors. Simple example, guys. Once you see how it works, later we'll get to know the definition of constructor. You can easily understand that. See, observe here. In this Java project, I'm gonna work under a package called variables.yt.compile culture. Under this package, I just created one class. The class name is student. Remember, always class name should start with uppercase letters as per the naming convention. Remember this point. Later, inside the student class, I'm gonna declaring two variables. One is belonging to integer data type, another one belonging to string data type. That's it. We can call these as a members of the class, or we can call these as a properties of the student type. ID and name are the properties, or we can call these as a variables. I just declared here two variables. One is ID, another one is name. That's it. We know that execution always starts from main method. We already know it. Now, execution always starts from main method. Fine. Now, now I want to take input from the user. For that we need to create object for the scanner class. Scanner sc equal to new scanner system.in. If you want to use this scanner class, first we need to import that. Import java.util.scanner. The scanner class is used to take the input from the user, and scanner is a part of java.util package. Keep this thing in your mind and make a note of it. Now we are gonna asking the user to enter the ID. I'm gonna printing one statement on console. Enter ID. Now int ID equal to c dot next int. See here, we have created object for this scanner class, right? Sc. This is the reference variable. By using this reference variable, we are gonna asking the user to enter the input, right? See here, I'm using this reference variable of scanner class sc dot next int. See here, It scans the next token of the input as an input. This nextInt method is there, no? It will read the integer value entered by the user, and it is gonna storing the data into the variable called id, and the data is expecting from the user is integer type, right? That's why I mentioned here integer. I hope you guys got clear idea up to this line. If you want to read floating value, then you should use next float. If you want to use boolean value, if you want to expecting boolean value, that time we need to use next boolean. Here, this nextInt method is there, no? It reads the integer value entered by the user and storing the data into that variable called id, and it is the type of integer data type. This is the definition for this statement. Now, id done, right? Now I need to ask the enter ask the user to enter the name of the students. Then we should ask the user to enter the name. I'm asking enter name. Enter name. That's it. Same story like this also. We're we are expecting name, right? That is string type. That's why we need string data type. Name equal to sc dot next. See, for integer data type we use next int. For string also you should use next string, right? We'll get doubt. No, we should not supposed to use like that. For string we should use only next method only. That means this line reads the string data or string input and stores the data into this name variable. Here the note is this next is there, no? It takes only one word, not a full sentence. In sentence, we have, see here, this is the one sentence, right? Enter name. In this sentence, we have some space in between the words, right? In between the one word and the word, we have some space, right? The string method won't accept this type of sentence. If you want to enter like this, you should go for next line method. For only one word, we can use this next. That's it. Up to this, I hope you got clear idea. Now, here is the important part. Here is the important part. We are gonna creating object for this student class, and I'm gonna passing id and name as the formal arguments. Whatever the data we are got from the user, no, that is I'm gonna passing into that object. This object is responsible to call the constructor and sets the value. See, we are gonna creating object for this student class. stu equal to by using new keyword, new student. See here, I just created object for this student class, and I'm gonna passing the id comma name, id comma name, and this one is there, no? This one is responsible to calls the constructor and sets the value. See, see here, we'll get one error here. Create constructor student integer. See, this is the syntax to create the constructor. This is the important part. This is the syntax to create student. Public is the access modifier here, and student is our class name, right? The class name and constructor name should be the same. That is the rule of the creating a constructor. Inside this, it is accepting arguments. We can give same names also. ID comma name. ID one and name two also we can able to give. No problem. Now, okay, fine. Everything is fine. Now, by using this keyword, I'm gonna initializing the data. This dot id equal to id. This dot name equal to name. See, as of now, just remember this is our constructor. That's it. Keep this thing in your mind. Now we will understand the definition of constructor. Listen carefully. Constructor is a special member of the class. Constructor is a special member of the class which is used to load and initialize the all the non-static members into an object. Now see what I told. It is a special member of the class which is used to load and initialize the all non-static members. See what are the non-static members here? Int id and string name are the non-static members that holds the student details. Am I right? These two are the non-static members. These two non-static members we are gonna initializing in inside this constructor. And see, this is the best example for the parameterizer constructors. Why? Because it accepts the values, right? ID and name. That's why we call this as a parameterizer constructor. We'll get to know under the type of constructors. As of now, just understand, try to understand the definition of the constructor. These are the non-static variables. We are gonna initializing those non-static variables by using this constructor. That's it. This is the definition of the constructor. Now coming to the rules of the constructor. Rules of the constructor. Constructor is a non-static initializer because we are gonna initialize the all non-static members, right? That's why it is a non-static initializer. This is also a non-static. That's it. Because we are gonna creating object for this constructor, right? That's why we call that as a non-static initializer. And the constructor name must be mentioned as the class name. This is the second rule. See, what is our class name here? Student, right? The constructor name also should be same as our class name. That is the second rule. Now we will move to third rule. The third rule is constructor doesn't return anything after its execution. Hence, it doesn't have any return type. Even void also not possible. It is not gonna return a void also. See here, observe here. Is it returning anything? Is it returning anything to anyone? No, it is not gonna returning anything. That's why it doesn't have any return type. This is the third rule. First one is it is a non-static initializer. Constructor name must be mentioned as class name. Third one is it doesn't have any return type. I hope you guys got clear idea up to this. Now, I told you, I told one point, constructor is special. Why constructor is special means it looks like a normal method. See here, it's look like method only, right? It accepts in some of the arguments. Inside this, I'm just initializing those. It look like a normal method, but it is a normal method. No, it is not a normal method. That's why constructor is very special, and it is automatically sorry. It runs automatically when you create object using new keyword. See here, I just created one object by using new keyword. We are not calling here. It's run automatically. Whenever we create object for this class, no, that time constructor is gonna automatically call by the call when the object is created. Up to this, I hope you guys got clear idea. That's why constructor is very special because it is called automatically when we create an object. That's it. Now, this is the important thing you should remember. See here, this is the syntax of the constructor, right? This is the access modifiers, and this is the name of the constructor, and these are the formal arguments. And inside this constructor, non-static context only allowed. This is the non-static constructor. That's it. Context. That's it. Now, see here, I am using public access modifier. See, are you guys able to see any red marks here? No, that means there is no error. Now, I am trying, in place of public, I am trying to write abstract. See, you guys able to see red mark here? Remove invalid modifiers. See, try to run this example. ID is 5, name is some. See here, illegal modifier for the constructor in the student type. Only public, private, protected or permitted. This means the constructor cannot be abstract. Constructor cannot be abstract. That means abstract is not permitted. Now we'll try for final. See, see here only we are getting red mark. See, again we are getting error. Illegal modifier for the constructor in student type. Only public, protected, private or permitted. Final is also not applicable. Now we'll try for static. See, again we are getting same error. See, again you guys are getting same error. This means the constructor cannot be abstract, static, final or synchronized because those keywords do not make sense for something that runs during the object creation. That's why the constructor should be only public, protected, private. Those three access modifiers are permitted. That, make a note of this very important point. Very important point. We'll get to know what is public, private, protected, starting everything in upcoming videos, guys. So don't worry. As of now, just remember only public, protected, private are permitted. Constructor cannot be abstract, static, finite, or synchronized. That's it. Now, why we use this constructor means the constructor is there, no? It automatically initialize the object's values. See here, it automatically initialize the object values. And second one is to avoid writing separate methods to assign the data after the object creation. If you don't use these constructor, no. See here, we are initializing the data to these variables, right? If you don't use constructor, then it is mandatory to create other methods, some separate methods for assigning the data. That is not a good programming practice, right? That's why to reduce the length of the code or lines of the code, we should use we should recommend it to use constructors. And the thought use is it helps in creating clean and organized codes. That's why we need constructors. Constructors plays a key role. This is the very important topic. The main purpose of the constructor is to initialize the object. Is to initialize the object. That is the main purpose of the constructor. Keep this, make a note of this point. Very important. Now see here, inside this constructor, you are saying like that, initializing the data, right? Only non-static context is allowed to write inside the constructor, right? What is this here? What is this? This is a keyword which is used to represent the current object. This keyword is used to refer or point the current object. This keyword is there, no? We can able to use this only inside the non-static constant. Constructor is a non-static, right? Non-static initializer, right? Inside this non-static only we can able to use this keyword. We'll get to know more about this keyword in upcoming videos. So don't worry, guys. As of now, just remember it refers or point to the current object. That's it. Why we need this keyword here means this keyword is used to differentiate between the instance variable and parameters with the same name. Parameters with the same name. See here, these two are the instance variables, right? Am I right? These two are the instance variable. See, these are all the normal variables, int id and name. I'm taking these two values we can able to access inside this method only. We can't able to access here directly because these are the local variables. Am I right? Now, inside this object, I'm passing these two arguments, id and name, right? See here, id and name. For this variables, for this instance variable, I'm gonna initializing this id name which we are taking the data from the user. Those data we are initializing this to the instance variable. That's why we need this keyword here. Means it differentiate between the instance variable and parameters with the same name. See, here we are using the same name, right? id and name. Here also we are declaring the same variables with same name, right? This keyword differentiates between those names. Those variables, whenever we are creating object using this constructor, no, those values initialized, those values get initialized. See here, whenever we enter the id and name, both from the user, that time we are creating object for the student class, right? Here we are passing to this constructor. Id will be replaces with 5 and name will be replaces with 5. These two values get initialized to these instance variables. This dot id 5, this dot name equal to name, whatever the name we are giving, that will be assigned to the current object. That's it. I hope you guys got clear idea up to this. See, now I will try to run this example and I will show you. Entering ID and name is Priya. See, ID is 5, Priya is 5. See here, I am accessing student.id. This object is there, no? That student.id, student.name. Like that, we can able to access that. This is the best example for the parameterized constructor. Now we will go for default constructor. Next video we will see the types of constructors. Hey, if you understood everything right at the end of the lecture, please drop a comment. I understood in the comment section so that I get belief that you guys are doing and you guys are understanding everything. I get motivation that I come back and record these videos. Please do consider subscribe to my channel and dropping the comment I understood in the comment section. If you are new to our channel, please do consider subscribing to us. If